Hi guys.
Hi.
And we've got another video that's on the topic of COVID-19 because in my last video I was quite optimistic. I was saying, oh, the problem's all solved, everything's okay. And as you know, they've had a new outbreak in Beijing, and so Beijing is again kind of locked down, quarantined. And here in Yiwu, everything is still okay, but it kind of affected us.
Yes, because I went to Beijing last week. I needed to renew my visa. So after I came back, after a few days, I was contacted by a SMS message asking if I was in Beijing. And then the property management people came and confirmed and asked me to go for COVID-19 testing.
So this is not the regular Yiwu hospital, right?
Yeah, I think it's a fever hospital dedicated especially for the cases when you have some kind of symptoms of fever.
Or testing and treating the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So I guess the idea is so that if there's potentially infected people, they're not mixed in among the general hospital population.
Yes, absolutely.
And so we're going because you were in Beijing.
Yeah, last week I went to Beijing.
And so
and there is a new
they've
cases.
had new cases, and it seems like Beijing is again on more or less full lockdown.
Yes.
So, and the result is because of the tracking systems and whatnot, they know that because you've been in Beijing, you've got to go and get tested now.
Right, yes.
Right. So we're going to go in. I don't know how much they'll like filming or how much they'll tell us not to, but we'll see what we can do about following this process of getting a COVID test in China.
Yeah.
Right. So here in China, they've got a sort of a health app on your phone. You have a little QR code. When you initially fill it in, you're saying that, I don't have any symptoms, and where have I been the last 14 days. And so everybody's got this on their phone, which allows them to track who's going where and who's been who's been in maybe a danger area or whatever. So I guess that's how they noticed that you had been to Beijing.
Well, when you need to go to another city or even enter any building, the public place, you need to show your code.
Right.
Now, if it's green and everything is all right, then you can proceed.
Yeah.
So and it's constantly updated. Mm-hmm. So because I went to Beijing, it was updated in Beijing, and that's how they could see that I was traveling these days.
Right. So anyway, so we thought it was a good opportunity anyway for us to show you how is the situation managed here in China. And so they gave us the address to the local fever hospital. It was a dermatology clinic, but it's been repurposed to be specifically a COVID-19 testing center and I guess quarantine center. So we went, and it's actually quite well organized, but of course, because we're foreigners,
it took longer than it would take the locals because we don't speak the language, and the whole situation was a bit confusing why we were there.
And then unfortunately also it ended up for them being a big 3-alarm thing, because Dila ended up having a fever even though she wasn't she's not sick with COVID. But on that day, you can say...
Yeah, I was wearing gloves and double mask, and the weather was really hot. And a few days prior to that, I had a small surgery, So
you're also on some different medicines or whatever?
Yeah, and my temperature was 37.6 at the time when the nurse measured it. And so for them, it was really confusing. So that she went to Beijing, now she has fever. Maybe she came because she had fever. So it took some time for me to explain that I came because I was told to go and get tested, not because I was feeling uncomfortable or happy.
What did you say?
I said I'm a special case. You see, I was tagged because I have a slight fever.
做什么工作的？做什么工作的？
我不是工作，
这样怎么？
And they sort of blockaded our line. We were all separate, and it took quite a while to get that straight. But then once we were sort of past that hurdle, everything was pretty straightforward and pretty quick. We went to the next section, which was the processing
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, where another nurse, again, she collected all the information that the previous nurse asked and then put it all on the computer. I made payments for the test. Would you like to say something with payments?
Yeah, the payment very, very cheap, and we'll show you the receipts here, but for the two of you having multiple tests, it was 80 RMB each, which is around $10-12 each, so about $20 for the whole thing. And that included what did they do?
Blood test, chest x-ray, nose sample, and sample from the throat.
Right. So quite a lot of testing, a lot of service, and really just a minimal little charge for that. And I think for Chinese people it's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
Finally, test is happening. Been waiting for like what, 2 hours to get through.
好，嘴巴上来啊，来一下啊，头抬高啊，忍住啊，有点恶心的啊，忍住哎，好，好，可以了啊，再选好了啊。好，口罩戴起来了，
好的。
口罩戴起来，戴上。
What about Baba?
No, wait, I think it's blood.
And blood too.
Because I have a fever.
好，压住啊，好，压牢。 啊，没问题，没问题。他说那个刚才那个，他说做一个常规检查，然后呢，我就跟他。还有其他的吗？他这个也是吗？哪一个吗？
这个我的
对，这个你好，这个怎么样？
我的儿子。
哦，谢谢。
Iskander, your turn. You got it? Yeah, I got it.
Your
so
turn.
wait, he will tell you when. First, he needs to prepare all the tubes and bottles. There's only snot. Well, no, we're special. I thought that was just gonna take it. I think yours is gonna be just the snot and throat.
We'll see.
Nose and throat, no blood. Mama had to take blood test as well.
52，他吗？
哦，不是，pathway。
他这写错了吗？
pathway，这个我的丈夫的。
哦，那没关系，您这边就行了。
No, don't worry. We'll find out in 2 days.
这应该是老家地址。
But you said pathway was really. Okay, get ready. Take your mask off. Don't touch the inside.
对。
Don't touch anything, Baba. Just
Don't touch. Just let him go into your
好
nose a bit.
啊，来一下，好，头抬高
say
啊，头抬高啊，哎，好，忍住哦，真好，哎，不错哦，哎，好，可以，好了，
Okay.
有点恶心了哦。
That was disgusting. Well, it was just a stick with the cotton top.
Yeah, I just
Now it's gonna go into your nose, okay?
Oh no.
好，
This is gonna be
Oh, blood.
Oh, you
We'll
also
do
blood
blood.
testing,
伸过
Lovey.
去啊，
Sorry.
哎，手伸过来
It's
啊，
okay, Lovey.
Okay,
It's okay.
butterfly needle.
Butterfly, of course, butterfly.
啊，手一点，
Just work your
对
hand.
对，很
Work
好
your
啊。
hand.
see
Work
what
your
he's
hand.
showing.
Work your hand. Go like this.
抓紧，抓紧，
Yes,
哎
and hold hard. Make it hard. Yeah, so your vein is pumped up. And don't look because it's gonna be just little pinch.
No
Okay,
big
just
deal.
little pinch.
哎，不动，
No big
好
deal.
了，好了，好了
That's it. That's it.
，OK 了，OK 了，好。
That's
Little
it.
pinch,
Already
little
finished.
pinch. Yeah, that's it. And now he's just gonna get it out and that's it.
哦，拔掉了哦。
Yes. Wait.
Hold little band-aid. Close your arm. Close your arm.
这不是核酸检测的基本上。对，都要验血。
I saw it was gonna be butterfly.
好，还有一个这个啊。
也是有的是吧 ？OK。哦，要不这就。
You didn't take your nose. I guess you're good.
手码大的吗？
好，可以了。可以。哎，好 ，OK。看体的话1个小时内啊，核酸的话要2天。
2天。
对对对啊。
买3颗。买3颗，买3颗。
可以了吗？我在哪儿？
好，
我这儿这些是吧？对，我这个就可以了吗？好。
OK， 再见，谢谢。That's it. We're done.
So anyway, so yeah, we got all the testing done and everything came out okay, negative for COVID-19. And maybe in conclusion, what's your assessment of the Chinese system and how organized they are? And
Very efficient, affordable, fast, and
very well, and just very well organized. I think
very
that's
organized, yes.
the thing is, even though when we're very nervous and careful about trying to stay safe, but when we go out into Yiwu, we see that everyone's just walking around, no masks, standing right near each other, acting as if nothing's wrong. But in a way,
Schools are open.
Schools are open.
Yeah.
But in a way, I mean, it is okay because what we've seen from how they're tracking and testing and really keeping track of who's going where and who might be at risk, I think you can feel pretty safe because they've got it under such control.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess thank you for watching, and I again hope that was interesting and informative for you, seeing what the quarantine situation is like and the control and testing regime in China. And overall, we say thumbs up. Good job in China.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay
okay.
safe.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you think we
Good.
covered everything?
I just hope it freaking recorded this time. If it did, then that's great.
Okay, check please. Real what?
Just go take off all your makeup. Okay, so hi, we're back with a new video again on the topic of COVID-19. Because although, what I said last time, that it's all over and everything's okay, well,
Start again.
if this doesn't record this time, I think it was the memory card was full. I didn't take off the other ones.
Very fast.
Yeah, and very well organized.
Very well organized.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope that was of interest to you guys, and we will try to be keeping you updated, not just about the COVID-19 situation in China, but just in general, interesting, different, unusual, whatever we notice about our lives here in Yiwu, China.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, so bye.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Kiss you? Don't want to kiss you?